Hi friends, this is Sadhguru Kamath, your political analyst, educationist and industrial corporate trainer. Friend, today I have come to see you with a novel idea to explain to you what is happening in the Ladakh area, what is happening in the Tibet, what is happening in the Aksai Chin. Before that, I would request you to please subscribe to my channel Times of Maharashtra, because your each subscription will motivate me to come to you with the new ideas and new videos. Before that, I again want to remind you, you are following all instructions given by the state and the central government pertaining to the COVID-19. Please follow them. Those all instructions are beneficial for yourself, your family and for our society also. So friends, if you can recollect, a couple of years back, China had invaded Doklam area of the Bhutan. Basically, Doklam was a tri-junction in the Bhutan. During that period, Indian Army entered the Bhutan and protected Bhutan from the invasion of Chinese government. Our military did not allow Chinese to establish its rule, its control over the Doklam. Now again, after 2 years, Chinese have again played the same trick and they have entered the Ladakh area of Indian territory. Friends, we generally see this sort of things on the television, we hear a lot of things about such things. And after some time, we shout at China and we forget all the things. Those among us who can afford to visit the areas like Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim to enjoy their holidays. But one thing we don't realize, that these the states located in the East India have a prominent and very important role to play in the security of the India. And from the military point of view, this area, these states have got a tremendous importance. I am going to speak to you only about these aspects. And when we think about these states, when we think of the Indian security, we will have to take into consideration all these states: China, Tibet, Bhutan, Sikkim, all these. So let us start our video then. Till 1949, first we'll talk about the Tibet. Till 1949, Tibet was an independent nation. Before that, in 1914, the religious head and the administrative head of the Tibetan government, they declared that Tibet is an independent state. And the countries all over the world accepted this fact that the Tibet is an independent free country. And before this, Tibet was under the dominance of Maharaja Ranjit Singh of the Punjab. After some time, Dogra dynasty from the Jammu Kashmir, one king named Gulab Singh, he established the independent state. He established the independent state of his own in the Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh region. He had one general called Mukhavar Singh. He ordered him to invade the Tibet. So he went there. He fought a war with the Tibet and established this authority of the Raja Gulab Singh of Kashmir in the Tibet. While coming up, there was a storm, icy storm, and unfortunately, the General Zorawar Singh and his entire army lost their life. But Raja Gulab Singh was a very tough king. He ordered his another general called Jawahar Singh to invade the Tibet again. He went there. And this time he had to fight a war with the joint army of the China and Tibet. He defeated them there. And he came back. Now, after this development, there was an agreement between the China, Tibet, and the King Gulab Singh of the Jammu and Kashmir that Tibet would be under the control of the Jammu and Kashmir. That is under the administrative control of the Raja Gulab Singh of Jammu and Kashmir. Authority of the Raja Gulab Singh over the Tibet was established through this agreement. Similarly, it was also decided that Tibet would be giving a tax to King of Jammu and Kashmir every year. This system went on peacefully till 1962. The very surprising fact of this war was that the Chinese army fought the war with the Tibetan army to defend this area, Tibet, to defend the Tibet. It was also decided in this agreement that the territory of the Jammu and Kashmir would be up to the Mansarovar, and beyond that there would be a Chinese territory. After this development during the British India rule, Britishers tried to have one more agreement among the China, Tibet and British India. Tibet agreed, but China did not agree with the certain terms and then they went off. China did not sign that treaty. There started the McMahon line, dividing line. Everything was going finely. Everything was fine in the Tibet. But in 1949, Mao systematically executed and established the communist rule in the China. That changed the entire scenario. Without caring for any country in the world, China, Mao ordered his army to enter the Tibet. Tibet being a Buddhist country, and Tibet has always been a peace-loving nation. From security point of view, from military point of view, Tibet was a weak country. It had an army of only 8,800 soldiers. So China crushed them, quelled them, and forced the rulers of the Tibet to sign the 17-point agreement with them. Ultimately, they had to sign it, being a big partner in the agreement. During that period, if you go into the detail, you will be surprised to know it was a duty of the Indian government, because India got its freedom in 1947, and as per the Indian Independence Act, Jammu and Kashmir legally became the Indian state by signing the instrument of signing the treaty with the Indian government. So it was a moral, legal duty of the Indian government was to protect the Tibet, but we did not do that. Our government, led by Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, did not care for the Tibet. Not a single country in the world came to the help of the Tibetan government. It was our duty, Indian government, to do that. It was because the Raja of Gulab Singh had signed a treaty on 20th September 1842 with the China, Tibet and Kashmir. They had signed the treaty. And as per the various provisions of that act, it was a duty of the Indian government to protect it. Nehru did not do he didn't do anything during that period. As a result of that, there were questions. There was hue and cry in the Indian Parliament. People raised a question. Member of the Parliament raised the questions and reminded Nehru to do something for the Tibet. So Nehru replied, "Why we should pick up a quarrel with the country like China?" That was his reply. Nehru was basically in that mood of that Hindi chini bhai bhai. So he kept quiet. Later on, what happened in Tibet in 1959? the religious head, Mr. Dalai Lama, he started feeling insecure in the Tibet. So he requested Indian government to give him on the political support. He, along with his about 30-40,000 followers, he came to India and he settled down in the Himachal Pradesh of the Indian state. Then he requested Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to allow him to allow him to give a proper education to his kids. Nehru agreed to that and told him that you can send your kids to the Indian schools. There, Dalai Lama was a very foresighted man. He pointed to Mr. Nehru that if he allows all Tibetan students to join the Indian schools, the fight for the Tibet and Tibetan culture would be destroyed forever. Nehru realized his mistake. So, on that ground, Nehru gave them a permission to establish the government in exile in India. The parliament, 44-member parliament for the Tibetan parliament came into existence after that. Now they have a government in exile. Now they have a separate school. They can carry on their cultural activities there. Meantime, not a single country in the world accepted the Chinese authority over the Tibet. India also did not agree. Later on, in China itself, Mao executed that communist model successfully to establish the communist state in the China. Then there was a king called named Ching Chai Sheikh. They killed him and his entire family. Those remaining authorities of the rulers of then China, they ran away to the Formosa, that is today's Taiwan, and formed their Chinese nationalist government. China, after the establishment of the communist rule in the China, they did not keep quiet. Their activities went on and on. During this period, again in the parliament, Indian parliament, India was the first country to give recognition to the communist China in the world. No other country in the world gave any recognition to the communist rule in the China. You can say it is a ignorance, it is a stupidity on the part of India to take up such issue in the till 1962 to give UNO's recognition to the communist China. When China started a fight with the India in 1962, we stopped doing that activity. United Nations did not give a recognition to the Chinese communist rule till 1971 or 72. USA did not give any recognition. Likewise, other Western countries also they did not give any recognition to the China. In 1974, USA President first time visited China, and in 1979 they opened their consulate general office in the China, thereby giving a recognition to the China. But they always regarded Chinese occupation of the Tibet is an illegal occupation. India also accepted the same thing. Even during this process, again there was a hue and cry in India. Nehru did not care for anything. He didn't care. In 1962, China sent his army and pick up the quarrel fight with the India on two fronts. Through the Kashmir, Jammu or Kashmir they entered through the Mansarovar area, and from the Arunachal Pradesh on the two fronts. From Mansarovar they came in, and from Arunachal Pradesh up to the Tawang. In Jammu and Kashmir area, they captured 1/3 of the Kashmir, which is now we call it as Aksai Chin. And in Arunachal Pradesh, from Arunachal Pradesh, they conquered up to the Tawang. Tawang has got a many Buddhist temples or mutts located in the Tawang. But later on, Chinese government realized that it was very difficult. Geographic location of the Tawang is such that India can take it back. So that was not suitable for them. So they withdrew their army from the Tawang, but kept Aksai Chin with them. After this, China did not keep mum. They started their regular activities. They adopted a novel model to enter the India. Every time they will come enter the India, inside the India 10-15 kilometers. The news will come to the Indian government. The Chinese have come. So what our old government used to do, they used to give instruction to our Indian army to come back still 10 to 15 kilometers. They are inside the India for 10 to 15 kilometers. You come back 10 to 15 kilometers. Don't pick up any car. Likewise, since 1962, during these last 60 years, Chinese from the Mansarovar area have captured 200 kilometers of Indian territory. What to do? Besides that, since 1962, there are many rounds of negotiations on the border dispute with China, but not on a single occasion Indian government negotiated with the Chinese government on the basis of the agreement signed by the China, Tibet and Maharaja of the Jammu and Kashmir. That is 1842 agreement. They used to negotiate with the China on the basis of what British India tried to make one agreement with the China, Tibet and British India, which China did not sign it. That was a tragedy of all the things. We had an obligation to defend the countries like the Bhutan, Sikkim, Nepal and Tibet. But we used to work on the hypothesis that this is a transition area. What is transition area? China is a big country and India is also a big country. So in between, if you find a couple of independent small states, there won't be a fight between the two big states. But history has proved this hypothesis as wrong. Besides that, China has not kept. China is not keeping quiet on the political front. It is claiming Tawang again. It is claiming entire Arunachal Pradesh. Now this time they have entered again in the Ladakh, demanding it, trying to establish its authority on the Ladakh. But as you know, the political currents will always change. They change everywhere. In India, in Russia, everywhere. This situation, let them come inside the India, we will withdraw our army from that area, has come to an end. In 2014, there has been a lot of political changes in the Indian scenario. And the present government, during all negotiations since 2014, the Chinese on the territory, this government always put up the various provisions signed by the China, Tibet and the Indian government. Then Raja of Kashmir, regarding the border disputes, which Chinese don't agree. Now, whenever Chinese are inside the Indian territory, and when government is informed about this, our government sends instruction to our army to be there only. If you are getting chance to go ahead, go. We will manage all the things on the political level. But don't come back. Chinese have experienced this during the Doklam problem. And now in Ladakh also, our army is giving them a fitting reply. Friends, what is happening in the China government, Communist China government is in trouble from all fronts. On political fronts, there are many issues in China. President Li Ping is in trouble. because some section of army, some section of the communist China Communist Party, they are totally opposing the leaping. Similarly, on the similarly on other fronts, only because of the Corona-19 or the COVID-19, China government has come into a trouble. Internationally also, commercially also, China government is in a trouble. So whenever China government is is in a trouble, they always play a safe game. That is their nationalist formula. And nationalist formula is what? To make entry into the other countries, send army to the other countries. This time, this is a Ladakh. But fortunately for India and unfortunately for China, this time, because of the corona, Australian government has demanded a inquiry commission on China for corona. Secondly, most of the multinational companies, they are shifting their location and they want to enter the India. Indian government took up that setting of inquiry commission against China on corona immediately after Australian government's demand. In addition to that, these two issues, the number of multinational companies from China, they want to shift their location from China to India. Australian government has already demanded the setting up of the inquiry commission against the China for the COVID. Because of these two developments, Chinese government, Chinese military, they are very upset with the India. As a result of this unstable state of mind, they have started their trick again in Ladakh. They are claiming Arunachal Pradesh as well as Ladakh. But this time, to add fuel to the fire, there is a bill pending. There is a bill coming in the American Parliament regarding the Tibet, calling Tibet as an independent nation, because Democrats, the opposition party in the USA, and the ruling Republican Party, they always blame Chinese government or China for for 1 lakh American death, and they will not spare China for this. For them, the prosperity and the lives of the Americans has a tremendous importance. And because of the corona, COVID-19, 1 lakh Americans have lost their lives. Against this scenario, on the basis of this scenario, India is getting a golden opportunity now to take back Aksai Chin and tell Chinese to go back 200 kilometers away from this. And our border will be Indian border will start from Manasarovar as per the provisions of the agreement signed in 1842. If the present government successfully, tactfully handles three issues. First, the proposed bill in the American Parliament regarding giving independent nation status to the Tibet. Secondly, Dalai Lama. And third is Taiwan. If the present government is able to handle these three issues systematically in a stipulated period of time, I think in a time to come, will definitely get back Aksai Chin. Our border dispute with the China will be settled peacefully. Our border will start from the Mansarovar. Let us hope for this. Friends, please convey me your remarks. How do you like this video? And don't forget to subscribe this video. Again, at the end, I will again request you to follow all instructions given by the government pertaining to the COVID-19. Till then, take care. Goodbye.